I built a $350,000 UGC business with less than 10,000 Instagram followers, no viral moments, no massive audience, and no influencer status. And today I'm going to break down exactly how I did it, because what I'm about to show you goes against basically everything you've been told about building a UGC business. Most creators think they need tens of thousands of followers to land good deals. Most creators think they need to go viral to make real money. Most creators think it's all about content quality and posting consistently. All of that is bullshit. While everyone else was chasing followers and hoping to go viral, I was building a system that generated consistent $10,000 to $15,000 months with an audience smaller than most creators get in their first month. And the craziest part, the exact stuff I'm about to share works even better now than it did when I first started. So if you're tired of making $50 per video and you actually want to understand how UGC works as a real business, pay attention. Hey everyone, Emma here. Before we dive into the breakdown, let me give you some context, because my story is probably different than what you would expect. I personally did not start with any advantages. I wasn't already an influencer. I didn't have connections in the space. I didn't even really know what UGC was when I first started creating content. But what I did have was a background in business strategy. And that's honestly what changed everything. So while most creators were learning filming techniques, editing hacks, I was approaching this like a business from day one. Here is where that actually got me. Over the past 2 years, I was able to generate over $350,000 in revenue from UGC partnership. My average retainer is $3,200 per month. I've worked with brands like Amazon, Lola Blankets, Resify, and Spoken.io, and I've actually helped them hit actual measurable results that kept them coming back month after month. But honestly, the more important part is this. I've now taught this exact system to hundreds of other creators through my Academy Creator Collective, and they're getting similar results. People like Dianna, who landed her first 2 retainers totaling $2,800 within 25 days of joining. Or even Sydney, who went from $50 videos to $10,000 months in 3 months. The difference is that we stopped playing the follower game and actually started playing the business game. Let me take you guys back to the moment that honestly changed everything. This was December 2022. I remember I had just had the worst week of my UGC career. One specific week, I literally cranked out 6 videos for a brand, okay? I filmed, edited, wrote the hooks, the captions, the call to actions, the whole thing. It was about 15 hours of work, and guess what I got paid? $120. $120 for 15 hours of work? That is $8 an hour. I could have made more working at McDonald's. But here's the part that really hit me. I knew I wasn't the only one struggling with this. I was in Facebook groups watching other creators celebrate the exact same deals. $100 for 3 videos or $80 for a week's worth of content. Everyone was trapped in this same cycle, right? Create content, hope brands would notice, accept whatever scraps they offer, and then repeat. And that's when I had my real breakthrough. I wasn't actually positioning myself as a business partner when I worked with these brands. I was positioning myself more as a content worker. And content workers get paid like workers, not like partners. So I made a decision. I stopped pitching myself as someone who makes videos and started actually pitching myself as someone who drives results. The difference in response when reaching out to brands was pretty much immediate. Instead of competing with thousands of other creators for these $50 gigs, I was suddenly in conversations about $2,000 to $5,000 monthly retainer. Instead of brands treating me like a vendor, they were treating me like an actual consultant. That shift from content creator to partner is what I now call the strategic partner method. It's the system that transforms you from a replaceable content creator into the face of the brand for the companies that you decide to work with. And it's the foundation of everything I'm going to be teaching you guys today. Before we get into the actual strategies, I need to kill the biggest myth in the UGC space. You do not need need a lot of followers to make good money. Follower count and income have almost no correlation in strategic UGC. I have friends with 18,000 followers making maybe $2,000 a month from UGC. And then I have friends with like 1,200,000 followers that make $6,000 a month. The difference isn't the audience size, it is positioning. Let me prove it to you with real numbers. So when I hit my first $10,000 month, I had 3,800 Instagram followers. When I hit $15,000 months, I had maybe around 8,000. My biggest single deal, a $5,400 retainer, came when I had 6,200 followers. The brands did not care about my follower count. They cared about my track record for driving results. They cared about my track record for driving results for other brands. My approach to content. They cared about the business outcome I could actually deliver for them. Because here's what actually matters. Number one is your positioning, how you present yourself and your services. Number two, your ability to think about content as a business lever, not just pretty aesthetic videos. Number three, your understanding of what the brand is actually trying to hit this quarter, right? Number four, your professionalism and your systems. Notice what's not on that list though. Follower count, views, viral moments. None of that really does matter when you're operating at this level. This is why I teach business strategy instead of just content creation tips, because anyone can learn how to film a TikTok, but not everyone can position themselves as a partner worth $5,000 a month. All right, so now to the actual system. The strategic partner method has 4 core components. So I'll break down each one so you can start using them immediately. Component 1 is strategic positioning. This is how you present yourself to brands. Instead of saying, I create UGC, you say, I help brands build authentic customer connections through content partnership. Instead of talking about your filming equipment, you talk about conversion rates and customer acquisition costs. Here's the exact positioning that I use. I say, I specialize in becoming the authentic face of brands, creating content that doesn't just look good, but actually drives measurable business results. My focus is on long-term content partnerships that consistently generate ROI for brand partners. See the difference? I'm not pitching content creation. I'm actually pitching business results. Component 2, offer architecture. So most creators have no idea how to actually package their services. They send rate cards with 1 TikTok for $100, 3 TikToks for $250. But that is not how partners operate. I create custom retainer packages based on what the brand actually wants to hit. So here's an example of my framework. Foundation package could be $1,500 a month. That's 10 pieces of strategic content monthly, brand voice development, performance analysis and optimization, monthly strategy calls. Then we have the growth package of $3,000 a month. That would be 20 pieces of strategic content monthly, advanced audience targeting consultation, A/B testing and optimization, bi-weekly strategy sessions, and quarterly brand positioning review. And then the big one, my partnership package at $5,000 a month. This will be 30 pieces of strategic content monthly, full brand voice and positioning consultation, advanced analytics and ROI reporting, weekly strategy sessions, priority access, and 24-hour turnaround. So each package focuses on outcome, not just content quantity. That's what positions you again as a partner, not just a content machine. Component number 3 is authority-based outreach. So I want you to forget cold DMs asking if brands want UGC. That immediately positions you as a commodity. So instead, I use insight-based outreach. I research the brand, identify a specific opportunity, and lead with actual value. So here's the template that I like to use. Hi name, I've been following brand and noticed your recent specific campaign or product launch. Your brand positioning around a specific element really resonates with your target demographic. I specialize in content partnerships with brands in your niche, and I noticed an opportunity that could potentially increase your customer acquisition efficiency. Specifically, I see, insert something that you observe. Based on my experience with similar brands, there's usually a 20 to 30% improvement opportunity in specific area. I'd love to share some specific insights that could be valuable for your Q2 strategy. Would you be open to a brief conversation this week? I know that's a lot, but this positions you as a consultant, not just a vendor. You're leading with insights. You are not asking for opportunities. Component 4, results-driven delivery. So this is where most creators really fall apart. They get the deal, they create the content, and they hope for the best. But partners track everything and optimize continuously. I track engagement rate, click-through rates, conversion rates, and customer acquisition costs. I provide monthly reports showing how my content is performing against the brand's goals. And most importantly, I proactively suggest optimization. So like, hey Sarah, I noticed the product reveal content performed 40% better than lifestyle content this month. I recommend shifting our December strategy to focus more on product-focused content. That is what keeps clients for over 12 months instead of just 1 to 2 campaigns. Let me walk you through a real example of how this plays out. So March 2023, I got approached by a skincare brand struggling with customer acquisition costs. They were spending $80 to acquire each customer and their lifetime value was only $120. They were barely profitable. So instead of just agreeing to create content for them, I approached it strategically. First, I audited their existing content. They were focusing heavily on ingredient education, but their highest performing organic content were customer success stories. So I proposed a different angle, and instead of general product content, I focused on authentic transformation narratives following real customers throughout their skincare journey. The strategy was super simple. Position their products as part of a larger lifestyle transformation, not just skincare routines. So I built out a series of 30-day transformation pieces showing real results over time. But here's the key. I structured the content to address specific customer objections at each stage of the buying journey. Awareness content focused on relatability and problem identification. Consideration content focused on social proof and result demonstration. Decision content focused on urgency and specific product benefits. The results were real. Within 60 days, their customer acquisition cost dropped from $80 to $32. Their conversion rate from social traffic went up by 180%. The best part is they increased their content budget from $1,500 a month to $4,500 a month because the return on investment was that obvious. That client has now been with me for over 2 years now, and they've become one of my best case studies for attracting similar brands. That right there is the difference between content partnerships and traditional UGC. It's not about just creating content. It is about driving measurable business results. Now let me share the operational systems that let me scale to $350,000 without burning out. System 1, the client journey. I mapped out every touch point in the client experience from initial outreach to month 12 of the partnership. That includes initial consultation framework, the onboarding process and expectation setting, monthly strategy development, content creation workflows, performance reporting and optimization, renewal and expansion conversation. Having that mapped out means I deliver consistent quality even as I scale. System 2, the content strategy framework. So instead of creating random content on whatever days that I need to post, week 1, brand awareness and problem identification content. Week 2, social proof and customer story content. Week 3, product education and benefit focused content. Week 4, conversion focused and urgency driven content. Every month has a flow that supports the brand's actual goals. System 3, the performance dashboard. I track 12 key metrics for every client. Engagement metrics, so likes, comments, shares, saves. Traffic metrics, click-through rates, website visits. Conversion metrics, leads generated, sales attributed. Efficiency metrics, cost per acquisition, return on ad spend. I report on these monthly and use them to optimize consistently. And then system 4, the renewal framework. This is probably the most important system. Actually keeping your clients long term. Month 3, obviously you want to do a performance review and strategy optimization. Month 6, full audit and expansion opportunities. Month 9, annual planning and goal setting. And then month 12, a renewal conversation with improved package options. So this proactive approach means most of my clients renew and often upgrade their packages. Now let me share the biggest mistakes I see creators make trying to implement this. Mistake number 1, leading with credentials instead of insight. Don't say, I'm a UGC creator with X amount of followers. Instead, say something like, I noticed an opportunity in your content strategy that could improve your conversion rates. Mistake number 2, competing on price instead of value. Never position yourself as the cheaper option. Position yourself as the strategic option that delivers better results. Mistake 3, focusing on content quantity instead of business impact. Brands do not care how many videos you can create. They care about those videos and what they do for their business. Mistake 4, treating this like freelance work instead of consulting. You're not just creating content, you're providing guidance and expertise. Mistake 5, not tracking and reporting results. If you can't prove your impact, you can't command premium rates or retain clients long term. The fix for all of these is always to think like a business owner or a consultant, not just a content creator. So ask yourself, how does this content support their business objectives? If you can't answer that, you're not operating at the right level. Now here's what honestly really excites me about the UGC space right now. We're at a perfect inflection point. The market is getting a lot more sophisticated. Brands are moving beyond just those vanity metrics and focusing on actual ROI. That is a huge opportunity for creators who can think strategically. At the same time though, the market is still flooded with creators who only know how to make content, not drive business results. So there's less competition at the strategic level. I genuinely believe that in the next 2 years, the UGC market will split into 2 distinct groups. Group 1 is going to be the commodity creators competing on price for low value one-off gigs. And then group 2 are going to be those partners commanding premium rates for long-term results-driven partnerships. So the creators who adapt now will truly dominate their markets, but the ones who don't will get left behind. And it's not about being more talented or creative, it's truly about positioning and strategy. So if you guys are ready to make the jump from content creator to strategic partner, here's what I actually recommend you do today. First, audit your current positioning. How are you presenting yourself to brands? Are you talking about content or actual business results? Second, develop case studies. Even if you're just starting out, you can create hypothetical case studies or analyze successful brand campaigns to show strategic thinking. Third, create a systematic approach to client acquisition, delivery, and retention. This is not a hustle. It is systems. Fourth, start thinking like a business consultant. Understand your clients' industries, challenges, and objectives beyond just their content needs. And look, I know this approach requires more upfront than just sending DMs asking brands for brand deals, but the difference in results truly is dramatic. Because again, instead of competing with thousands of creators for $50 gigs, you'll be one of a few strategic content partners in conversations about $5,000 monthly retainer. The strategic partner method isn't just about making more money, though you absolutely will. It's about building a sustainable business that gives you freedom and long-term growth. So if you want the full breakdown, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST, I run a free live masterclass where I walk through the entire strategic partner method. This is not a recorded webinar, not a vague pitch. I'm on Zoom showing you the exact step-by-step system I use to build a $350,000 UGC business under 2 years, and how we help creators land $3,000 to $5,000 retainers within 90 days. The link to register is in the description, or go to ugccreatorcollective.com/live masterclass and grab your spot for the next one. But whether Whether you join the masterclass or not, please understand this. The UGC industry is evolving fast. The creators who adapt now will have a massive advantage over everyone else. But that is all for now. If you got value out of this, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm posting 1 to 2 times a week, moving forward and keeping you looped in on everything new in the UGC space. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.